Hey everybody, welcome back to another bookshelf review. I'm Grim, and today we're going to be talking about Rotten Tommy by David Sodergren. I literally just got done reading this book this morning. I woke up like an hour before my alarm, which is so annoying, but it was beneficial today. And I rolled over and I finished reading it. And I just wanted to talk about it. Rotten Tommy was published May 6th of 2024 and runs about 286 pages. Today, I'm going to do my review in kind of sections. I'm going to do a back of book reading like normal, and then I'm going to kind of go over the general story of it, and then themes and thoughts, like objective and subjective, and my closing opinion. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to give it a try, and if it sucks, but who cares? But without further ado, let's get in the back of the book, and let's cue the scary music. Keep the door locked night and day. It's been 40 years since Becky Sharp's mother vanished without a trace. Becky has given up all hope of finding her, until she makes a strange discovery that may hold the key to solving her mother's disappearance. 3 unmarked videotapes hidden in the wall of her childhood home, and as Becky watches the tapes, she finds herself drawn to the horrific mystery far greater than she could possibly have imagined. For Becky has unwittingly summoned a long-forgotten nightmare, a creature that threatens lives and sanity of all around her. Rotten Tommy has come out to play, and nothing on earth can state his diabolical bloodlust. So here on the general story, I'm just going to kind of go over, the general story. The book follows Rebecca Sharp, or Becky. They just call her Becky in the book, who's married in her late 30s, early 40s, with something that's new to me, big overarching story plot. Becky is like late diagnosed with autism. I think the book's like 36 or 38 years old when she's diagnosed, and she's like in her 40s as when the book takes place. The author also autistic. So with the general story, initially her relationship with her husband gets rocky because of the diagnosis. And kind of that as part of the overarching plot. Becky is the daughter of a famous actress that went missing like 40 years prior. And then while having their house renovated, they find those 3 VHS that I talked about. The tapes contain videos of a very like fantastical and like kids movie place called Rumplejack. The show also contains her mother as like a lead in the show. And like the thing had said, like on her hunt for it, it kind of unleashes a lot of torrential bloodshed in her wake, trying to uncover the mysteries of it. And that's kind of reiterating the back of the book, but there's not a whole lot more I can add to it, really, without spoiling. And who wants a spoiler? Nobody. So, thoughts and themes. So the themes in this, they're going to be like themes will be objective, like things that are true, and then my thoughts that are subjective and my thoughts on those things. So thematically, the book is wholly based in like found footage, as it follows Becky in the unraveling of the tapes. And like I said earlier, the autism diagnosis is a ginormous part of the character in the story. It does play into the arcs with like the relationships and the characters, and a lot of the stuff that happens around her and stuff that happens to her is all like very relevant to that. Thematically, the book covers like really intense themes. If you can hear my cat, by the way, sorry. If you hear my cat meowing, he's trying to get into my lap. Go say hi to Frank. See, he was pawing to get up here, and now he wants to get down. You see this? No, maybe not. Maybe he wants to stay. Fuck it. He could stay. But it has like really intimate themes of loss and betrayal. Like a big one, and it's not a little spoilery, but it's a part of it. Her like loss in the sense of her father, who's still alive, who's in his like 80s or 90s or something like that. Severe dementia, and like he doesn't remember who Becky is. And at like some point he's like making sexual comments about her body. And there's another thing that happens like with her husband that you're like, wow, he's a piece of shit. And you know, and there's stuff like the police blaming her for stuff that she didn't do. So she's like being betrayed by everybody in her fucking life. This is really an intense perspective, to say the least. And it's like such a short word count, or like such page count. It's pretty solid. Rotten Tommy also. The cat is drooling. My arm is wet. Get down. You're gross. That's disgusting. Anyway. Rotten Tommy, it has like it blends found footage and like creature feature, which is neat. David Sodergren definitely has like captured that niche, in my opinion, but this is still objective. I need to stick to objective. And there's like, with the mentioned themes of like the creature feature and the found footage, there's a lot of like supernatural and paranormal elements with the book that doesn't necessarily get explained and is left like intentionally ambiguous. So now we're going to thoughts. This is just like my opinions on the things I just spoke about that were a whole like objectively true. The found footage aspect in the story I think is really well done. It has some really neat twists in it that you don't really see in much other media in the same genre. There's like one really in particular. If you've read the book, you know what I'm talking about. It is the bedroom scene. Okay, this is the bedroom, and you see, I won't say who and how, but people watch the tape, and the tape isn't like it was, and they are able to see like tape's supposed to be like years old, and it's like through the perspective of Rotten Tommy. All of a sudden, it's like showing their house and him like getting into the house and shit. It's crazy. It is wild. So I think it was really neat, and it has like its own really cool niche for me. And I've talked about it already, but the autism diagnosis is a really neat character feature in the story. I've never been diagnosed with anything remote to that. And I think it is interesting seeing the perspective of someone who does. It does play a major role in the story, like I said, the character, how it it really kind of depicts how the character acts because of that and their internal monologue and thoughts. And it is a really unique quality that I've never read, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Actually, I thought it was really neat. It's a really cool perspective. Along with the perspective and like her character and having the autism, the characters are so uniquely human in this. Every character is really is flawed, including the main character. Not with the autism, but like with, I would say, perspectives on things. And like her husband, known piece of shit. Her family, everyone she meets, all the you just see it come out and you're like, man, she can't catch a fucking break. It's crazy. And like everyone either directly or inadvertently does her wrong throughout this whole book, and it's almost really sad. You're like, oh my god, like she is a victim through the whole thing. Rotten Tommy himself, the John Rotten Tommy, is such an imposing villain, and there is so much to him, and also there's nothing to him, and it's so mysterious and ambiguous, and it's like, how does this work and how does this work, and like, who knows? I did listen to a podcast, and David Sodergren had spoke on it, and he left it very intentionally ambiguous and wanted it to be like up to interpretation. He knows, but he won't ever, share that, which I don't blame him. It's good. I like the ambiguity. I think it's cool. It's like, let it ride, The book as itself is really fucking brutal in spots. It almost is. I know this is like a maybe not, maybe, but I feel like it does almost border into maybe not splatterpunk, but it's getting there. You know what I mean? It's like it's a few shades off. Just in like gore depictions. It's not like 3 pages worth of gore depictions, but it's enough. You're like, Jesus Christ. But other than that, I mean, I can't really talk a whole lot else about it without spoiling it, because it's so short, like everything is important. But we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and start my closing opinion here. My closing opinion is, and I know this about me, I am very easy to please. As a reviewer, I know I should be more critical, but I'm casual. I'm such a casual enjoyer of horror books that like let me just enjoy shit, But I am so easy to please, and I know that about me. I know I'm easy to please. I'm not super picky, but this book did nothing short of pleasing. Like, it was very good. I will say, I'm glad I am a Kindle reader, right? We know this about me. I am glad that I have that, because David Sodergren is a Scotsman. He is Scottish as fuck. Okay. And there's a lot of like lingo and verbiage that are unique to Scotland or like UK or like whatever, that I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. And I had to like do a little highlight and translate, and like, which is good. It's not taking away from the book. It's just, as an uncultured American, it was nice for me to be like, okay, can I just have this, please? The characters, and I know I've already said, but like, I feel like the characters are really well written and very well grounded into reality. Albeit some characters are written in the book just to fucking die, and it's awesome. But it's like every horror book and movie. But the main cast of characters that are like through the whole thing and that are like relevant are very well like done and thought out well. The scare factor, like how scary is it? It's pretty scary. A little scary. It with the VHS and like the cursed tapes, it had a lot. Like, it kind of reminded me of The Ring. And it has talked, and like the book speaks of like a lighthouse, and it's like a very important thing as a lighthouse. And I'm gonna share a little story time with you guys. When I was, I don't want to date myself, but when I was a young man, a young child, I used to never like horror stuff. And my father, rest his soul, he had rented The Ring when it had come out, and I think we watched it on VHS. I think it was that long ago, buddy, you're drooling on me. I don't want you up here. And I remember, like, I was like, oh, it's a scary movie. You guys can watch it. I'm gonna go just hang out in my room and play with my toys or whatever. And my dad was like, I remember him calling to me. He's like, hey, you need to come see this. You need to come see this. I'm walking in the room like, what's up, Dad? He goes, watch this. It's really funny. And it's like the opening of the movie when, like, the sister opens the closet to find her sister all like all fucked up and deformed. Yeah, that's what was really funny to my father. He's like, look at that. And it terrified me. It scared me. I like hid under blankets. I was crying. Like, why did you do that to me? So a lot of it kind of is like, it triggers that, like, oh my God. Oh my God. So yeah, there's that. So maybe there's a little bias for me there, but who cares? The book, if I could describe it in like one glancing word, is it's fucking brutal. It is brutal. If you like violence, it has plenty. Like, without spoiling too much, there is a scene where a character literally gets drug upstairs by his dick and balls. Like, drug up the stairs. Like, God damn. And it's like, it is unapologetic. It is very like, this is what's happening. As far as the story goes, I think the book speaks to betrayal and being outcasted and does a very good job showing the consequences of the people's actions when they are bullies. Like, you're gonna fuck around. Like, the fuck around and find out ratio is kind of what it is. Some elements of that story were predictable in ways, but it never took my interest away, right? Like, I never was like, oh, well, I saw that coming. Oh, whatever. Shut up. But I thought the book was a real page turner. Very interesting. It had my, like, I was like laser focused. I'm a big Sodergren fan. I've only read 3 books, and he has like 10. I've read Maggie's Grave, The Horror, and now Rotten Tommy. The book only took me like 3 days to read, which I know, like, at the page count, is like, well, that kind of is a little long. But I work a full-time job, and I had a very peaceful weekend with my family. So, all in all, I think I'm gonna give Rotten Tommy a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. I think it's very fair for what it is. It is a 4 out of 5 for what it is. It was quick. It was fun. It was sad. It was scary, and all under 300 pages. And, like, I genuinely cared about the people that were in the book. I genuinely cared. Like, the whole arc with Becky, front to back, I was like, oh, my sweet summer child. And then by the end of it, I'm like, yes, do it. But until next time, that's it for me. Go support David Sodergren. I think he has a Patreon. He has some stuff that's like free on Kindle Unlimited. I read this for free on Kindle Unlimited. So good. But until next time, guys, peace, love, rock and roll. I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.